thought I was just checking something out. So hello again. I was just checking to make sure that I was logged in correctly. 'Cause sometimes it was safe replay. Oh right. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna be doing some work on this character. So she's a character in the comic. I really want to clean her up, and I want to make this character in the background. Uh, he's far enough away that I'm probably gonna I'm gonna like clean up his silhouette, and then I'm gonna just like make sure that I'm gonna add a blur to him so that he looks like he's further away. So yeah. And he shouldn't be smiling that much. He's not like, this isn't like an anime smile. This is more like he's just there. So I hope everyone's had a good week. Mine was a bit. The weather made things a little bit stressful, and something earlier in the week kind of did. But you know what? That's not what anyone's here for. So, and by that I mean like I had just a medical thing that I did that was a little bit, but it turned out to be positive in some ways. So it's a mix. You know, that's usually how that stuff is. So no biggie. I'll deal with it and figure it out. But anyways, I hope everyone else had a good one, because it is so cold here. I'm in like a sweater, and hello, thanks for dropping in. I'm wearing I was just mentioning that I'm working on finishing up some artwork because I really want to make some time-lapse videos for my channel. So I was going to finish up some character designs, and this character, she's one that I really like, that I just want to clean up and finish. I'm going to soften her chin a little bit because it doesn't really look quite right. Like that. There we go. That still works. It's just, it shouldn't be that hard of an edge for what I want with her, because she's still supposed to have a very feminine look, but she's just really strong too. So like she could just she's in armor now, but she can also just throw on like a nightgown and evening dress and have a totally different kind of appearance. So oh, cool. Some more people. Thanks for dropping in. Hope you had a nice week, and thank goodness it's Friday. So yeah, she's this character that was from my original comic that I was working on, that he was the main character. This guy over here was the main character of. And then I decided, with the help of someone who was mentoring me, that I should focus on a story that's a little bit more like, just something more unique, and something that could be told faster, and like, getting a bunch of people. Hopefully, hello. Glad you can make it. Working on some my comic character sheets. Like, I mean, they're like some art from them. This was an older one that I did earlier, like late last year, I think, and I just never finished it. And I really want to get it done because I really like it. Like, it's just kind of like showing off this character that I brought over from my old comic, and I really want to add it to my finished art on my page. Hope you're having a nice Friday, or I guess maybe Saturday where you are. I'm not sure. It is so cold here. I was saying earlier. I was saying how like I'm in like a I'm wearing one of my wearing like a thick hoodie and I got my shoes on to keep myself warm and it's like thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna. He needs to. The main thing I need to do with this is everything looks pretty good. I mean, obviously the details need to be refined, but more than anything, I really want to like clean him up, and then ironically, after I clean him up, I want to blur him. So I'm I'm trying to decide how much I'm gonna refine because it's gonna get lost anyway. It's like make him look nice and tidy, and then make him a blob because he's a tiny little guy compared to her. He's just a regular human. Well, I mean, he's a necromancer, so not maybe not regular, but more regular than a giant. do 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 do. Oops. I hate when I have to do this. I'm like hunting my layers, and I'm like, oh, is it pretty humid there? What's this? Because I can understand why that would be bad too. Like I remember I had an apartment where like, okay, there's that, where it was on the top floor, and they didn't say you couldn't have air conditioning, but they also had these windows that were not really set up for an air conditioner. So in other words, you were just kind of stuck without it. And I had to take these freezing cold showers. Yeah, yes. Yeah, it was like you had to like freeze yourself and then go to bed and be like, please stay cold. Maybe this will work. Nope. It worked for maybe like 30 minutes of the night. And then I was on fire. And this guy's name is Solomon Cole. He's this powerful necromancer, and he does mainly his main focus is summoning creature. He doesn't care about humans. He wants to summon like Paleolithic and like yeah, all kinds of creatures from like long, long ago, and just be like, because he's like, oh, they're far more metal. they like they're far more efficient in what they do. So sure, I could make a brittle little human, but I could also make like bring back a Triceratops zombie, and there you go, or a Triceratops ghost, and then give it an ectoplasm form so it can have or make it out of like stone or something, and then there you go. You got an undead Triceratops made of stone. Yeah, I kind of thought that would be fun. It's just like I wanted to make a new spin on Necromancer, because usually they're all about like either some of them can bring back things, but like usually it's fantasy things, and I'm like, but why would you need to? There's so many things from our past that are just like crazy. Like giant, imagine like a giant sloth that was just like that didn't fear death and was just unstoppable. Or like a woolly mammoth, like there's or a T-Rex. I'm pretty sure he's gonna do that in the story somewhere, because he might pop in. So I'm trying to decide where he's gonna show up, but it'd be really fun to have him just like summon some kind of either that, or if it's a smaller if it's an indoor thing, maybe like a Carnotaurus or something like that, because they're a little bit more compact, but they're a lot faster than a T-Rex. So that could also be, yeah. There's like so many different choices. I bet you anything it's... Nope. Okay, that's that. Hi, I found some of you. I was trying to find that black line there because it was driving me crazy. Right? Oh my gosh. That is a really impressive like what it's see I forget, is that a dinosaur, or is that part in the same family as like pteranodons and all that? Because I always get kind of confused with the flying ones. I know some of them are dinosaurs, but some of them aren't. So I'm always like, I think Quetzal is, but it could be wrong. That would be a pretty epic like mount. you fly in on that. It's like da, 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 da. Everyone's gonna be like, well, okay, he won. I mean, right here, his thing is he likes bugs a lot too. So I give him this like crazy hybrid giant dragonfly mantis. So sometimes he does play around a little bit too with his magic. Although I'm not really sure. Part of me wants to give him what you just said, because that might be even cooler. Like, this looks very dangerous what he's doing right now, but I guess he could always just like summon something bigger to catch him if he falls. Yeah, he's very much like likes to dress really fancy. He's got, and over the top too. He's like, I purposely made these pauldrons like the Fire Nation, like the old Fire Nation with the pointies, where it's like, where he's all about presentation. Because he's essentially her advisor, like kind of, and in the original comic, he got pulled into this like he got kind of like in the wrong place at the wrong time and got pulled into like doing community service. And his community service was he had to be a teacher, and he hates being around people in general. So he's got really bad agoraphobic. I mean, he's very agoraphobic. Which is probably why he doesn't want hordes of zombies, actually. He's like, oh, too many people around me. Like, oh gosh, breathe. I can't remember if he... Wait, what? It's been so long since I've drawn him, though. I'm trying to think what color his shirt was. But he's just like this skinny guy that's got really... Because his friend is... I'll show you. Because I do have a better picture of him. I think maybe I've shown it to you. I can't remember. I'll save this, then I'll bring it up. Do, 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 do. I really like how this one came out. If I can find it. Here it is. Hooray! I did find it. Yeah. There's what he looks like when up close, usually. I'm gonna add all that to him. I actually do like the pauldrons better here, so I might change him to this. Cause like, look at that. And he's like, and that's what I mean by like, I did the thing with like the T-Rex behind him, and it's like encased in like this ectoplasm slime kind of it. It helped him move it, and then he's like summoning these ancient bugs, like ancient centipedes, but making them much more powerful. And then I did some cool like Doctor Strange things like with his magic where he's got like character runes floating in the air and yeah, right? Yeah, this is just him. He's like this is him on a casual like, things are cool. And this is when negotiations fail. Yeah, I'm gonna add those in. I like that a lot actually. I'm gonna put that back into it. I'm glad I looked at that because I totally forgot that I added the gold to the pauldrons. That looks really. I like how that looks. Kind of gives it a little bit more of a to look at in it because they're really good, but it just needs a little bit more. Let me see if I can get. Oh yeah, it's green. Okay. See, this is. Normally, this is why you make character sheets. I think I made one for him a long time ago. I must have it somewhere, but it's not as good as this drawing anyway. So might as well just stick with this. Actually, at this distance, that's going to be even darker, so I don't need to. Oops. Yeah, now with these shows like Solo Leveling have me like thinking even more like how popular he'd be now. It's like, wow, everyone's is really into. It's like necromancers are getting cool. Why don't I? Now's the time to show him. Gotta figure out his. I can't remember what his. I think. Oh, his staff. I think had a crow. Maybe it had a corvid shape to it, kind of like it was just a regular. I think at first I was gonna make it more complicated, but I think giving it a raven head or something, but like not actual raven head, like a carved shape of a raven on the tip might be kind of cool. Cause I think what did I do here? Oh, here it's a gem. So I don't know. I think the raven might make more sense. Yeah, for this one I'm gonna stick to the raven. He has different walking canes. Yeah, me too. I like it when you give them a chance to like flex, and it's not like it doesn't always have to be just like for combat. Like this is just transportation. This is probably combat, or maybe he's just like someone took his favorite book. He's probably sitting in Barnes and Noble, and he's like, you said it would be in today. Why isn't it here? And then he's like, oh yeah, that guy took it. He's like, oh, that guy's going down. Like that was my book. Because that was another trait about him is that he's really into reading and writing. Like and that's kind of why he was pulled into being a teacher, because they're like, oh yeah, you can teach these things to your passionate the youth, and it's like, no, I don't want that. Please, no, anything but that. The coal mines, please. That is true too. Yeah, I could have it in the beak. That would be kind of cool. Maybe I'll do that, like where it's like, yeah, where it's more like this. That's a good call. I like that. Or ka. A good ka. Sorry. I just saw it coming out and I'm like, I guess. Oh, I'm sure. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he probably does. He probably like, mm, yeah, he's one of those people that nerds out about calligraphy, and he probably saw Helvetica, the movie. He was just, and he missed. He has like certain fonts that he's angry that are gone, and he's just like, oh man. Or like certain handwriting styles where he misses like ancient old Gothic style. He's like, oh, I wish that would come back. It's like, I love writing in that. Adding some more gold flourishes on him might be kind of nice too. Add to that fanciness. Fancy boy. Which is funny because it's clearly just for, like I said, since he doesn't, he's very agoraphobic. It's clearly just for himself. It's just like it's a self boost. See if we can. I think these are all. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna see if I can. Oops, what am I doing? Okay, there we go. I flattened it a little bit because I was tired of hunting down layers. Yes, fanciness overload. Exactly. Make his hand a little smaller. It's too big there. Oops. Yeah, this is, I actually kind of have retconned him into my current comic as this is great. Here, I'll show you her. This is a great, the mother in the story, Grace. She's Steel Song. This is her brother actually, and I thought that was such a cool idea because they both took science as their passion, but like she went more for like the crocodile hunter kind of thing of like being out and like studying nature, and so like they're both very much clearly like she's more like toughing it out, and he's just like, nope, I'm gonna be fancy. It's like, you can go and save those wild animals. Just bring me back some fossils, if you find any. And it's like, if you need me to bring something back to study it, I can do that for you. Yeah, totally. Those always give me. Because when I wrote him as like more of like a morally ambiguous kind of character. Like he wasn't wrongfully accused of being involved in nefarious affairs, but he wasn't directly involved. But he was definitely. He would have done it if he had known more about it. Probably like he would definitely been involved in something like that. But he's like, wait, there was a coup? Why didn't I? They need to send their emails out better. I missed that one. It's like, I was all ready and everything. I had my battle suit ready. I had a horde of zombies that could have helped you guys out. Why didn't you call me? It's like, sorry, your phone was on Do Not Disturb. Oh yeah, I was reading a good book. I forgot. And then he just spends the rest of the time nerding out about the book. Yeah, and even though I changed a lot with the new story, I still made an antagonist who is a unseelie elf because I wanted, I really like that was going to be the villains in this one. It was going to be a second invasion that was going to happen, and while they're and that they had to like they kind of started to find out about it, and they were trying to stop it before it became something while still doing their community service. So a different kind of race against time where it's like, well, I have to stop this berserking elf, but I also have to grade these papers. Which one do I fear more? The papers. Oh, definitely the papers. It's like, did you see this kid's handwriting? Oh my gosh. Oh boy. I'll take on the world ender any day over that. Letting some. I think someone forgot that I was streaming and she took a nap. It's all right. Just ping them. There we go. Yeah, I'm liking this. This is adding the gold. I'm so glad I was that you were here, so I'd want to go back and look at that drawing because I'm like, oh yeah, he had some really cool stuff. Yeah. Shorten it a little bit here because it's from an angle, so you want to make sure that like maybe it's not quite that high. I still like the shape, but I just want to make it a little bit shorter because it's kind of more like. I think the biggest thing is he's probably dressing up because he's a little self-conscious because he has a bit of a widow's peak, kind of like he has the Vegeta widow's peak almost. So he's just like, I'm going to cover it up by making everyone look everywhere but there. It's like they have to look at my fancy suit. Fancy. Yeah, it's okay. Let's see, I think here, I'll show you the page where he, I think I have that one open. Or, I just was working on it, so it should be... I'll find it really quick. Maybe. I know I did work on... Because I have the page where, well, this is let's see. Maybe it's in here. Nope. Oh well, I'll find it later. Because I did do maybe it's actually it might still be open. Nope. It is all the fight. Like, oh, that was a funny page. This is where they're leaving this restaurant, and the bounty hunters have he doesn't realize it, but the bounty hunters have left this trap message that the minute he picks it up, it's going to transport them. And she's like, "Hey, yeah, no, that's fine." I'm just trying to find it. It's in here. I've been trying to start some new stuff too, so let's see. Maybe I can find it. Oh, there it is. There's her version of what she kind of remembers of him, where he's like, where she's just like, he's basically like, okay, while you're practicing this music to learn some new spells, I'm gonna go talk to your uncle. And she's like, wait, you're going without me? And he's like, well, you could come if you want, but I think you remember how that happened, what happened last time. And it's like, he's like, yeah, I think I should stick here and study. It's really important for me to be ready for the next time we have a fight. I want to be useful to you after all. He's like, okay. Yeah, like I need to clean this one up, but I'm really happy with how that one came out too. Like it's rough. I just need to put line work in, honestly. So but yeah, I really want to get the comic up this year. I'm trying to get it up by the summer. I'm hoping. I keep because I have a website all set for it, and I used Wix. I mean, it was honestly, I would say it was like there was a choice behind it, but honestly, it was kind of a coin toss. I was like, Wix or Squarespace, heads or tails. Like, they both have pluses and minuses, so I'll just pick one randomly. By the time his comic came around, his coat was a little tattered, but I think since this could be him before that happened, so it's still pretty pristine. Actually, let me get. Thanks. Yeah, I was gonna do a little bit of that too. Yeah, the panels. I'm really happy with them. I'm gonna do a little bit more work on that tonight too. But I just wanted to. I feel bad because like I for a while last year I was doing a lot of time lapse videos, and I really want to get back into making those. So I think this would be a fun one to start with. That looks way better. Yeah. Like now it just reads better. It's might shrink this against him a little bit so they're not less like bell bottoms. And then you won't be able to see that in this one, but he is wearing nice like Italian dress shoes. They're just he's just very far away, and it's right. Well, being with her, he knows he's not going to get dirty because she's a frontliner. Like she takes on dragons, so he's like, I'm just here to like for commentary. I can throw things around and I'm powerful, but I don't really need to really exert myself when she's around. So like no one really wants to fight her for a good reason. Because originally I had him, she had her pauldron was a dragon skull, but I kept being like, it doesn't look big enough, so I'm not gonna even bother. Because if she was gonna wear something, she's just, I imagine she's kind of like the Dragonborn, where she just has like, but she has like just like an entire like section of her house that's just like the dragons that she's fought and had taken down, or like pieces of it. Maybe she doesn't even take them down, but she just like takes like a tooth or something. Yeah, she's. You look at the size difference. Like like her like one arm would just like be enough to take him out. But I've been having, yeah, and every time I talk about this, more and more people sound interested. So I really want to get it done this year because it's one of those things where like it's getting harder and harder to put off. I mean, it's getting more exciting to work on because of how excited everyone else is getting. Because for a while I was like, oh, this is good, but I'm not sure how people are going to react. And then everyone's just like, oh, okay, that sounds fun. And I'm like, okay, good. I better get back on it. He's her advisor, kind of a mentor too, I suppose. Well, I mean, I don't know. He could do that too, I guess, but he's mostly an advisor. So just like a kind of like, I'd say like a more functional Jafar. Like mainly because Jafar had a king who didn't really want to be a king, and she's pretty happy with her role as a like city official. So he's pretty much just there to be like, okay, this is how you handle this situation without smashing someone's head in. This is how you use your words to scare someone before you have to crush them with your hand. She's like, fine. I think that's the only issue with this is I think I did everyone's hands in this is just a little too big. That's okay. As long as you catch your mistakes, that's the important part. Can kind of make that finger look a little extended, so. Yeah, that's a very, I like that. Oh gosh. For his sake, I hope he doesn't end up like the original. He got smushed. Fix that. Finger was not in the right place. But yeah, at the very least, she probably does. She could just like pick up like a soundproof box and then just put it over him and be like, okay, I'm good. I'm gonna go out and have fun. He's like, you didn't have to do that. It's like I could just leave. He could almost sit on her shoulder like like Jiminy. Like, hey, you don't really want to do that, do you, sport? Like, but with him it'd be more like, well, you could do it that way, or you could do it this way and leave some emotional scars along with those physical scars. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think he's the spell like inverts on him, and his nose goes like maybe it like he gets a shorter nose, but like it from the beginning, so it has a new start. It has a smaller nose all of a sudden or something. Like, oh no, what did I do? I never did try. I don't know if you saw. Did you ever see that that they made a video game for that character for Pinocchio, that Life of P, right? Or Lies of P. It looked kind of interesting. It's just one of those games where I'm waiting for it to be on sale. Like it's yeah, it's pretty interesting otherwise. But those morality games can be kind of tricky sometimes, especially when it's something that's that long. You're just like, oh no, I spent all this time and now it's all. I went down the wrong tree. Because I did that in I did the Renegade in Mass Effect, and I was just like, oh no, I didn't mean to go this dark. It's like, sure, I wanted to be a little bit gray at times, but I don't know if I really wanted to be this evil at times either. Oh, me too. Yeah, yeah, 100%, definitely. I remember that. What are these? Oops. I don't know what these were. Oh, those were probably other drawings, actually. I'm like, why are there other? I'm like, oh yeah, because this probably was a drawing session in itself, and I just ended up liking this one the most. Yeah, I know. I know it'll never happen, but I wish there would be another Bloodborne. Because that game was so good. Let's see, clean her up a little bit more. I'm thinking she's gonna be like later. I still haven't decided how or maybe I might not even. We'll see. Maybe I might not even put her in this. Really, I might mention her in the first comic, but I'm not sure if she's gonna show up or not. Like she just might be like a something that kind of like they're going through a certain town and people keep talking about her as someone to watch out for. Because this is definitely someone that Richard might know. Oh, I have the art book for Bloodborne. Yeah, it's great. That art book is full of great concepts for characters. Ebrietas. That critter, that thing was creepy. The the is it? I forget its title. It's kind of like a failed or like a emissary essentially. That the church was worshiping. And it was pretty rough. I don't think it was too hard. I don't remember having too much trouble with that fight. I do kind of. Oh, you know what I've realized? I'm so sorry. I didn't have. I don't have any music on. I just realized this whole time. I'm like, well, it's kind of. I'm really loud. And it's like, oh right, because usually there's at least something on in the background a little bit. This is a good one to do this. There you go. What's your favorite design from that game? Because I think I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I played, but I'd say the Bloodstar Beast is pretty awesome. Or well, Ebrietas is cool. Or what else was there? There's so many really good ones. Even like, I almost want to say even just like the oh, what was that called? There's a couple really good ones. I know what my least favorite monster in that game was. Those maidens that, if you looked at them too long, they would just damage you. Period. Like you just like when you got like this madness meter that if you stared at them too long, it would just like critical strike you every time, and it was just like, oh, cool, thank you. Like I needed that. I was nowhere near a save point when you did that, so I'm so happy you did that. Should be up here. Maybe I should have some. But yeah, definitely. She was definitely inspired by Dark Souls: The Nameless King. I actually have a picture of her cosplaying as him, if I could find it. It's pretty easy to. It really stands out if I can find it. So it's one of those. That's not. I lost. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, definitely. Like some of them, I'm trying to think. Some of them were pretty unique, and trying to think if, I mean, like the what is it, there's that one that's like the cloaked one. I think it's like the wet nurse or something like that, or I forget what her name is, but that one's rough. It's like, oh, guess what? I can make clones of myself. It's like, but you were enough already. Why are there more? Please don't. Like one was enough. And I think the trickiest thing for me too was that like Bloodborne was the one I played the most first because I only played a little bit of Dark Souls because I bought the wrong version. I bought the hardcore version, which is for elite gamers who beaten the game already, and I'm like, this was not a good idea. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, or like was it Vort the yeah, the giant bug that was like spawning spiders. That was but Vic Amelia, yeah, that was a fun one. I like Vic Amelia. I just like the design a lot. Like the hair looked really good, and for having a creature something on screen on like a PlayStation 4 looked that good, that was really impressive. Like she was definitely a sight to behold. You're like, oh, okay, it's just this lady's just praying, everything's fine. Oh no, what is she doing? What did she just do? Oh no, she's a lot bigger now. I think I'm in the wrong room. It's like, oh, oops, I left the stove on. Gotta go. Bye. At least her story is not as sad as Father Gascoigne's story, though. That was just like, guys, this is insult to injury here. Jeez, this poor little girl. She just gets like tragedy after tragedy after tragedy, and it's like, give her a break. At least let her find her sister. Yeesh. Add a little bit more. That doesn't look right. Yeah, you're just like, that was that funny bit from Game Grumps where he's just like, where if he's like, imagine telling her this in the specific order that everything happened for you, where it's like, boy, do I have a story to tell you. Found your dad, fought your dad, killed your dad. Yeah, she's just like, they're just like, you know what, this little child needs to be like our trauma center for this game. It's like until she's just dispatched. It's like, oh no, poor child, no. Although it's not like anyone's house was specifically safe. Like you find out later on that a bunch of them get attacked anyways. So it's not like someone was being mean and not letting her stay with them. It's like, she didn't have good odds that night, no matter where she went. It's like, and I have Elden Ring on my computer, but I just have not touched it. Like, ever since I started this channel, it's just so hard to find the time for a game like that. Like, I even contemplated maybe doing some gaming streams on here, but I don't. We'll see about that. It's just it all depends on my my schedule and everything. If I can fit them in, then I will. But yeah, they're really good. Whenever yeah, whenever you can, I definitely recommend. They're pretty much timeless, honestly. Like Bloodborne is still as good as it was when it first came out. So and Dark Souls, I mean, that depends on your taste because some people really don't like the second one, but I haven't played it, so I can't say either way. I hear it's yeah, yeah, they would, but I hear the second one is a lot more like human bosses, which if you're cool with that, then and I mean, they're still really big. It's not like they're like, oh, it's humans. That means they're small. It's like, have you played a Dark Souls? Humans get, there's giants everywhere. I think so too. Honestly, I'm thinking about a couple different. I have a couple different ideas for what I might stream, which might help or hurt me. I'm not sure, but I was thinking of like maybe some of the Telltale games would be kind of fun to do because I've never played those and I really want to. And having an audience that decides for me would be really fun. Oh. Cause like I read those like that Fables game. I really like Fables, the comic. I didn't read all of them though. I kind of they I'm not sure if they retained their like if the story stayed as good as it was early because like I stopped ironically right when things were getting crazy with like there's like a boogeyman or something that showed up and like some of the Fables like made a superhero team. So I was like, oh, okay, and now I've contemplated going back and getting it, but I have other comics that I haven't read yet, so I'm like, I'll read those first and then maybe I'll go get it. Because it is a shame that Fables is so similar to that one show that already exists on TV, Once Upon a Time. Otherwise, I would say it'd be really cool to see like this version where it was just a bit darker, but like Snow White is pretty cool in Fables. Like she's like this like she's a member, like a strong representative of the community of the Fables, and she's just doesn't put up with garbage, and she's pretty tough because she knows how to sword fight. But she's not the strongest. She's just like this. She's just really smart. So yeah. And when it starts out, Blackbeard's actually the mayor of the town. So that was a fun story. That and one of these days maybe I'll get back into reading the Sandman comics because those were interesting. But do, 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 do. it was like, yeah, it didn't get much marketing or like. I think I honestly just like found it at a good time for it when it came. Like, I don't even know how I found it honestly, because I wasn't even into comics when I found it. Like, I had fallen out of interest with comics, and then like I just grabbed it on a whim, and I was like, oh, okay, this is different. This isn't superheroes, so which is why it's ironic that it has a comics where some of the fables act like superheroes. But it was I just liked it because it was a bunch of it was just about a bunch of I mean like Grimm's fairy tales, but as living in the real world, which was kind of cool. Honestly, normally I would be like there's only certain things in comics that I'm like even aware of anymore. Like if someone was like that's not in the Marvel canon, I'm like yeah I know because I don't follow them. I have no idea about the Marvel canon these days. It's like it's like all I know is that like someone had to even tell me that Miles Morales' story was different from the movie because I never read that comic. And all I know is I'm more excited to see. I'm very excited to see more of the Spider Verse movies because like that art style is just so cool. I'm still kind of annoyed that there must be more to this story because I heard no one would just outright do this, but I heard that um, the studio that did those Spider-Man movies like went to Warner Brothers supposedly. This is all hearsay. I'm not sure if this is true, but supposedly they went to Warner Brothers and offered to do that for Batman Beyond, and they had to turn them down. But there must be more to that story because there's no way they just were like, no, absolutely not. There must have been like, we'd love to, but we just have no room for to or money to put towards this, or because of our other projects, or there had to have been some kind of weird reason. No one would just turn that down. It's like that's an instant win. It's like Batman Beyond's already such a fun cartoon, and then you're like you update it with with that art style, and it's like those two things were made for each other. I kind of feel like there's parts of her there. Maybe it's my imagination. I think it's her. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, her anatomy is still like all over the place with like size. I gotta fix this. Right? Yeah. I love the like honestly I wasn't really sure what to expect when I went into the sequel. I didn't want to like put my expectations too high, not because I didn't think they could do it, but because sequels it's always difficult to catch that lightning in a bottle again. But honestly, they did better. Like they looked at what they did in the first movie and they're like, how can we just like sharpen the line work or the not the line work, but clean up the like style itself. Yeah, that might be it. Cause let me see, that might that might be it. Let's see if I can. There's an easy way to. because her head's this way, so yeah, it probably should be a little bit down. They both kind of, based on where that is, even if it's here, they're kind of both just a little bit. Let's see. I'll try and play around with this. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's always nice. Even just like turn it a little bit too, so it's more. Yeah, a little bit more like that. Cause now they're actually like a little bit more parallel. Because before they were kind of. Yeah, yeah, that's the problem with it. Like with some of these drawings where you get into this zone and then you'll just like totally miss it. Oh, definitely, but thankfully I have oh my gosh. Oh no. Ah! Yeah, I see them now. I saw all of it now. It was just like a flash of like everything. There's a lot. It's okay. I'm not gonna let it. That's how drawings work. You gotta do that once in a while just to see that kind of stuff. It was just like, bring, all appeared at once. Let's get rid of like more. Maybe not in battle. She wouldn't have that. That might be part of her other like when she's more refined. But when she's in battle, she's like, nah, I don't need to worry about that. Maybe this is too big too. Oh, you think the yeah? No, the peoples right now are definitely off. I'm gonna fix that. Don't worry. Cause yeah, no, you're right. Cause like it's how that one's. Cause this one is kind of looking more over here, kind of like. I think, right? Maybe just a little bit lower like that, where it's like not right directly, because this one's kind of, if this one's here, this one would be more here because it'd be in the middle of the eye, but like then just cut off by the top of the lid. Bottom, so more like that, kinda. But I gotta move the eye in a little bit more. So that's the problem too. Like you said, it's a little bit. Let's just take that whole eye down a little bit, or maybe just like. That maybe like more like that. So it was right where it was. Oh no. it's a little better. At least now they're like, there's a line between them now, at least. I gotta fix this. It's just a little bit off. And her I don't want to show too much of the right? Thanks. I really appreciate the help. There's so many times where you're just like, yeah, it's okay, and then like you don't do the flip like you said, and you're like, oh no, when you do it. That's why it's better to do it while you're drawing rather than at this point where I'm trying to polish, where it was like, oh no. So many hours. Or, oh, yeah, this took a while actually. So yeah, so that's, so many hours would be correct. Yeah, that definitely looks better, I think, because before she kind of... Always nervous with wrinkles because I don't want to make her... She shows some age, but I don't want her to show too much. So I want to kind of like... Might help to give her some lips that show up too. And that's one of the things that's kind of messing with it too is... Yeah. That's... I think those... Even like that looks better with them showing more like the tint. Yeah, thanks. That's I'll clean up the sharpness of it, but I think that bringing that to there just definitely, yeah, definitely looks better. Now everything else. I'm gonna go back to him because he's at least with him like the shape is really good. I just need to clean up like smaller things like just. Plus, like I said, with him, it's easy because he's going to be blurred, so I really just have to, like, kind of get the shapes right, and then... Right? Yeah, it's... Let's see with him what it does, because I'm... Him, it's not that bad. Honestly, it looks okay. It's ironic that, like, his is... The bugs could use a little work, but that's only because it's... But I know the bug could use work because it's still very rough, so... But him, I think his looks... Like, even the eyes, even though they're tiny, are at least aligned. So... So I wonder if, like, him... Like since he didn't have as much detail, I kind of like unintentionally made him. It was a little easier to like just get the placement of things correct because I wasn't focusing on them as much. Whereas with her, I was just like everything has to be perfect, and it's like then you're gonna mess it up. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. Good. Because, like, yeah, with him, it's just cleaning up, I'd say. And getting this, I might change where the beetle is. Because it's kind of. I. Hmm. Or maybe just make it wider. Like, give it a bigger midsection. Because he's going to fall off this. He's making me very nervous. You right? Too fancy. Fancy, fancy boy. I'll add some of the details of the. Not that it matters too much because this is gonna be blurred, but at least I can show that like he is wearing shoes. So like these like nice. Actually, I'm gonna look up. Yeah, I'm gonna look up dragonfly heads to see what their heads look like because I'm sure I'll get a good. Sometimes they do really good close-ups. Oh yeah, their eyes are crazy. I didn't go crazy enough with the eyes because the eyes actually go more like this, like they're bigger. That's what I was missing. Dragonfly eyes are huge because they can, so they can see like, yeah, like that. They're, and they got like this like kind of like area more like this. So their mouth makes like a perfect like evolutionary, like a perfect area for like these chompers to bite down and hold, and then big little teeth, smaller like not, I don't know what they even call those, but like kind of like teeth, but like their version of teeth inside. Just rip it apart. Yeah, I'll make it longer so it's like it's actually going like past her. Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad I looked at the getting. It's always good to look at reference. And honestly, I'm definitely gonna play around more with the color too, because especially with insects he knows, he could probably bring them back and restore some of their color, maybe like, or at least like a subdued version of their color would be kind of cool. Actually, they do have a big area here, so I'm not really. Let's just erase these for now. We can bring them back. Don't worry. But I just wanted to make this area here look right. So let's clean this up. They do have like this area here that's really big like this. So he does have a wider area to stand on than I thought. Because like they do have quite a bit of space. I'll add these. make them look more like how they would be set up in a bug or an insect. I mean, yeah. And these are and then the legs would be tucked in. He's flying, so be like this. Wait, let me check something out. Yeah, they have like a lot of iridescent, like really bright colors. It's really cool. And like their wings are just look amazing. And let's see, do they have? You know, I must be thinking of something else. I guess they don't have. For some reason, I always thought. I guess they don't. Wait. That's fake. That's AI. Okay. I'm like, you know what? Where's let me go to. Hopefully this place is okay. Getty Images. Are they AI yet? Because my reference had, oh, these look possibly better. Oh, look at that little guy. They got animations on here now. That's cool. At least I think maybe it wasn't AI. Oops. Go away. I don't want it. What? Guys, leave it alone. Everyone's getting AI. I hate this. Ah! I just want a picture of a bug, guys. Let's see. Because there's all types. All the check this one. This would be kind of cool. This one even has like these spots on it, like stripes in the wings. That's so cool. That's a fun accent to put onto it. I realized their wings are further apart than I thought, which makes more sense. See, I figure a dragonfly would be a good summon for flying because they can they move around like helicopters almost in the Bug Kingdom. Like they have like incredible versatility indexed and can zip in any direction really quick. Not sure how he's holding on, but it's just one drawing, you know. This isn't the story. I don't need to worry about that. That's better. Yeah, that looks more like starting to look more like a dragonfly. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're doing great. It's like Yeah, and it's crazy that you look back and like, I mean, there used to be ones that were like the size of like a falcon, and that's crazy to think that something like this, something so intricate as this creature, could have an ancestor that could fly. Probably not as I don't I I'm pretty sure they didn't fly quite as fast. I can't remember what their speed is, but yeah, I'll have to check it out. I used to watch this funny channel which was like bugs fighting. It was like Bug Face Off or something like that. Like it was just like, or like different like animals from like like crustaceans versus insects and stuff like that. And it's just like they would always put in like the sounds of like warthogs and like lions, and it's like, guys, these are bugs. Like they'd be like, check out this katydid taking on a grasshopper, and it's like, roar. It's like, okay, guys, chill. Okay, they do have antenna. It's just they're just really thin. Because so many of the images of them, it's so hard to see their antenna. But yeah, no, those are really funny videos. I definitely check it out. I wish I could remember what that was called, but it was just like these like guys who were just like, look at this African cricket versus this spider, and it's like, wow, crickets in Africa are huge. It's like, oh, jeez, crazy. You know what? Actually, I have this wrong. You know what I'm gonna do? Instead of erasing it and having to redraw it, I'm gonna be smart, and I'm just gonna grab it, and then twist it like this. Because their wings actually do kind of like, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Their wings kind of like rotate between like, I have to put this on a lower layer, so let's, okay, and then cut. Up below it. Oop. Well, not that. Wait, why is it? What the? Why is it a? If she's above that, why is it showing up over her? That makes no sense, because if it was here, I'd understand, but... I confused. Whoops. Don't want that. Cancel. Wonder why... You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna, instead of turning it and then doing that, I'm gonna select it up here and put it on its own layer, because that was probably the problem. There. Watch now if I go underneath it, and then, whoops. Kinda. Yep, that was the problem. Maybe like this, actually. Yeah. Because they make like a... They kind of... It seems like they almost like take turns. Like there's like... Because I have this one where like... The top wing, the front wings are up, and both the back wings are down. So I imagine they kind of like they shift, and it could also like obviously like alternate to make it change angle if it really wanted to. But when it's flying straight, I imagine this is probably more like what it does. But see, now I have to watch that video. I'm like I'm so curious. Let's get rid of that Since we changed the angle of that one, this one wouldn't make sense to be here. So, don't need to worry about that being there. Because it's down here. It's on the other side over there. So. I'm actually, let's see, maybe, yeah, I think some like dull cyans and yellows would be kind of cool. Instead of just green, like maybe like, let's see if we can get this to... It's gonna look weird for a second because I'm painting over it, but I'm gonna put this below it. Well, this way he's like traveling in style because it's like gold as well. Because it's like a dark. Yeah, it's got like a sheen like this, kind of, where it's... Maybe make this part yellow, actually. So, or a yellowish, almost like a greenish yellow. So it could still have some of the green, maybe, but just up on his side. Imagine something kind of like showing like the speed, kind of like have like shadows around the wings. Might be kind of cool. Something like that. And then, yeah, I think like gold and turquoise, like these two colors, I think is really nice. So it'll work good. I would go brighter, but like I said, if it's undead, it kind of makes more sense for it to not be. I like that better. Look at adding these details is just really bringing this out better. I'm glad I I'm glad I went and looked up some images of like not AI bugs because that one was bad. It was like, oh, look at it. It's got like 15 legs. And I'm like, but they don't. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, you gotta show off. I gotta look cool. I gotta look cool. And putting some color in the... Actually, maybe I'll put some of her hair color kind of like shining off the wings a little bit, or like give it like a sheen to the... I don't know, maybe not that. Maybe not that bright, but somewhere in that range. Maybe like this. Try that. Because some of them, like the one I'm looking at, they all have different tints around their wings. So maybe actually... Maybe go for more like this, actually, because make it look more spectral, giving it like a blue tinge around the wings. Yeah. Can make it a little bit smaller. There. I'll be right back. I just gotta get some water. Yeah, back when I made this the first time, I think I didn't even realize how much I'd like it. But now that I keep going back to it and looking at it, and I'm like, I gotta finish this. Maybe a light sheen. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna make it I'm gonna give it a texture with the sheen. Nope, not that. Not that either. Just need like a speckled brush or something. Like this, maybe. Like almost like... Just something to give it a little bit more texture to the carapace. But not... I figured that a brush like this is nice too, because it won't be too deep. It'll kind of help with the whole it's in motion, so it's not going to be perfectly sharp anywhere. So, yeah. I figure just because it's mostly dull colors, it doesn't mean it has to be completely dull colors. Hey, thanks. Yeah, it's been really. I really am happy with it. Like, it's just like a good representation of this character, but not like an over the top like that other one. But I mean, I like the other one a lot too. But this one's kind of fun in just that, like, it just shows more of like him in a like action kind of scene, but with someone else. Cause so, let's see if we can... Yeah, he looks pretty cool. One of the eyes, I guess they... The cool thing about insects in general is there's just like there's so many variations that it's like I don't think it's too worried. It's not so much that I'm worried I'm gonna get it wrong. It's more that I might just like stop drawing it and then find something so much cooler than what I drew is the bigger concern. Well, like this, where like I just realized their wings. Well, let me check. Their wings can do a lot of different things, so this isn't wrong. It's just I'm gonna add a little bit. Let's see what happens. Oops. See, there's this shape it has where it it actually can go. They actually arc up like this more, which that looks, a shape like that seems even more cool and aggressive, kind of like, yeah, where it's kind of just like that, more like that shape. Oops. There we go. Just add this to that. We got our. Yeah, it's a fantasy creature in real life. It's just bugs are just, they break all the rules. That's an interesting brush, but it's not what we need. This might actually be a good brush to have, though. Let's do this. I'll make a multiply layer and try and add a little bit more darkness to the bottom. But with, this is my Kirby Crackle brush. It's kind of like fun to just add a little bit more texture with it. And put like a shadow around him. Yeah. Yeah, right? It looks much more like a. It's kind of got like a nice arc to it too, where he's standing, so you can feel like he's got some weight, and if anyone asks how he's standing in the middle of those wings, I'll just say magic. Like, look, it looks cool. I don't care. I'm not gonna have him hanging off the back or being carried underneath. He's a gentleman. He rides up front. Maybe actually the eyes can be the same color as his can have a tint of his coat to them, like a red. Let's see if I can. Probably they're so dark. Just add like a. No. Maybe just add like a light tint. Yeah, like that. I like that. Yeah, well, honestly, that's what I was kind of thinking. I'm like, maybe it's not a complete bug, so that all he has is the middle, and he just made these like spectral wings, and I can just like, I can even just change the color of these a little, add a little bit more like. Yeah, like spectral energy around them. Like so. Something like that. I figure that could. It makes him. Yeah, I like that. Much more dynamic now with that kind of like. And this one will be going this way. A little bit towards. Maybe I'll put it kind of next to her a little bit. like that. Yeah. Nice. Even when you said that, I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, but I don't want it to be the same color as the bugs. So I'm like, the spectral energy should be like, and then I hit this color, and I'm like, yeah, this is the perfect green for this. Or we want something that's just stands out a little bit different, so it gives them a little bit different energy. Let's see if we can add glow and kind of give it like a nice. Their wings are so intricate. This is going to be the hardest part, is drawing all the little details in the wings. It's like, I'm going to just abbreviate it a little bit because there is so many like textures in their wings. It's like 100 different like lines going through it. So I'm just gonna kind of like make an abridged version because otherwise everyone's gonna be like, oh, look at the wings and everything else. What if I did the hello. I kind of like that. It's like, I gotta look cool. I gotta look cool. Don't panic. Look confident. You know what you're doing. You've done it before. Try to find another good texture brush just to do. Oops. A little bit more to the wings. Yeah. Nice. I like that. That is so much better than before. Like you saw what this. Remember what this looked like earlier, where it was like it was just a loose sketch, and now it actually starting to look like an actual bug. It's like, yay! I'm so happy at that moment when you're just like, all right, it's finally starting to stand out on its own. Putting a little bit of blur in that. Nope. Trying to find the right brush, trying to find them. No, that's... I gotta delete this one. I'll remove it later. Yeah, now he's got the... Now he looks ornate enough to stand out to this Eagle Rock hybrid thing. Bald eagle / rock. Or it's just this mountain of a bird that just The good news is they're both like apex, like like flying predators, so maybe that could work towards giving him a chance. It's like check out what watch me look at watch I can do it too. Look at this. I swear, before you were around, I was the top of the chain, the aerial food chain, for a long time. Thanks. Also, I'm very happy when I found out that light blues look really nice as shadows for white. Because so much, like back in the early days, I'd be like, oh yeah, you can just use gray. And it's like, no, dum dum, that doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. It wouldn't reflect that. Like you can do a subdued, like that, kind of. Yeah, look at, hey, look over here. Check this out. Check me out. I'm doing a cool thing. I swear. I look at all these things I caught. It's just like picks up a bear. It's like, look what I caught. Look what I caught. Dragon grabs a drag. I mean the rock grabs a dragon. It's like that's nothing. It's like no. Hold on. I can do that too. I can do that. I swear. Actually, that's not right. It would be more like this. Don't want to lose. You know what? Why don't I just change her so she's like got her leg, since this leg's so far forward. Or maybe it's not. No, it's supposed to be over the edge. You don't, which I think what I could do is if I lower this leg a little bit, it would make more sense. Because right now, why does she have her leg like that? It looks uncomfortable. Oh, I know. That was tough. Oh my gosh, what's the name of the site? I'll look it up right now. Is it not Figurosity? Is it Sketchfab? No, that's something different. Because I have a site where like you can take any animal skull and then move it to reference angle. This might be it. No, this is for humans. Wait, is this? Yeah, it is, darn. Okay, well this is for humans, I guess. Reference angle is good for them, but I swear there was one for animals too. Hand reference. Yeah. It's like the bird's just like, no, you've seen Godzilla, right? That won't work out. I don't want you to end up like Mothra. It's like Mothra's got nothing on me. Oh yeah, and another really cool reference I found is a skit. It's called Film Grab, and it has like all these different. You can just grab. You can use shots from movies as reference, which is so useful. Or oh, if you don't want to buy the or I mean if there's a certain video game that you want to use art from, what was it called? Where is it? I just saw it. Creative Uncut has a lot of video games in it. It's really cool. It's like you can just look up the concept art for a lot of games. So yeah, they have like even on the opening page, it has like Fallout 4 art and some other stuff. Let's see. I wish I could find that one that I was talking about though, but it must be mixed in here somewhere because I got like a whole like bookmarked folder that's just reference. Yeah, like I have my D&D character generator for when I'm drawing those drawings. Pinterest, I guess, I'm gonna be using that less now because they lie. Like I kept hearing people be like, "Yeah, there's a lot of AI on here," and I'm like, I haven't seen any yet. And then today I'm looking up animals, and it's like, oh wow, this is where they are. It's like, oh, that's not a bug. Is it Magic Poser? No, I'll figure it out later. Some other time. I'll let you know that. That's the only one I don't know offhand. But there's definitely ones out there, and there's also like what was it? Line of Action has a lot of good photos on it. I mean, it's good as long as what you should always do is when you find a reference, click on the user to be sure that it's not AI. That's all. Because other than that, it's I use it all the time. Do you use have you downloaded PureRef? Because it's a really great app, and unfortunately it's not free, but it's like I think it's like $10, so it's not like it's like huge purchase, but it's a nice like time saver of like you can just like throw all your images onto PureRef and they'll pop up as a widget above your art, and you can like expand them, and if you click on them you zoom in on them, and you can arrange them how you want. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? It's like although I always have to be careful with maybe be careful because there's also those people that think that birds aren't real. So they're like, guys, it's AI. There's no way that a drone could fly like that. It's like, cause it's a bird. Like I don't understand the difference. It's like, oh boy. We're hitting a threshold on my computer. It's angry at me now. It's like too many apps open, too many things open to. I'll have to close some of these. See if I can. Yeah, I can close that and that. Sure, save. I don't care. Yeah, it was my. I had like. Oh yeah, I was drawing. Yeah, this was me drawing a bunch of animals early. That like oh yeah, I was doing them really quick. Those are like 20-second drawings, so. I'm gonna check something out with her. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish all of her anatomy tonight, but I'm going to do one thing just so I'm going to set up some landmarks, I think. Because otherwise I'm going to make the same mistakes tomorrow. Or whenever I do this again. So, let's just get her bright blue. Oops, this brush is not good for this. Okay, this is better. Yeah, we want a brush like this. Thanks. I'm just double checking things to make sure it's just right. I can always clean. Yeah, because there's always small things you can fix, but I think it does look pretty good. I think maybe she's just kind of like doing a pose, actually. That's why she's like this, I'll say. Because otherwise it's not... I mean, this actually could be a little lower, probably. A little bit. Because her pelvis is down here, so... So yeah, it's not big changes, honestly. It's just like, because then, actually, like you might even, then her foot would go down to, the other one would be like that. On that side. So actually, it's not that far off. Yeah, it's really like light changes, honestly. So, yeah. And now it's for the... Just double checking things with their muscle. It's a... Yeah, no, it... Everything, all the landmarks look pretty close. Like it might be like slight fidgeting, but it's... I think it's... She's much better now that we fixed the with your advice on the eyes was spot on, and I'm really glad someone else was here to look at that and to recommend that I use the mirror, and I'm definitely going to use that more this year. I promise, because yeah, that saved me so much annoyance and later on of coming back to it later when it's on, because nothing's worse than like posting it and then on like social media and then finding that out later. It's like you're just like, oh cool, everyone gets to see my mistakes, yay. Oops, this isn't, why am I drawing this layer? This is a fake layer. I'm like, why did I draw on the layer that was being used for the to double check the anatomy? What? Oh, okay. Oh, that's a multiplier, that's why. I'm like... Yeah, I just think, like, darken some of these coves for the wing areas. But otherwise, I think this is coming... This is pretty close to being done. Like... Or at least, like, close to the... Just the final stage of just touch-ups. But like, I'm so happy with the bug. Like, that was the biggest thing of tonight, was getting him in his pose. And I don't think I really need to blur him as much as I really don't need to blur him. I could add a little bit. Oh, I forgot to add in the we talked about adding in the gem in the mouth. Oops, wrong. So like making like and then use a regular brush for the... Oh, that. I like that. Oh, yeah. What's that? Where's... I gotta look at... Back to Pinterest! Help! I want to put the eyes in the right spot. Have you ever seen those YouTube videos of like the animal show, like the people who have like pet ravens? Those are always so much fun. Like they'll like talk to them and they. Okay, so they kind of have like a. How do we do this? I guess I could always. What color is this? Let's make this like a very dark. No, like this. No. This is tricky. I want to make. Because they have like a ridge above their eye. I want to show. Not like that. I want to kind of hint at it while. Before I even draw the eyeball. Because, like. Actually, well, this is carved anyway, so who cares? I mean, carved with some feathers on it. So, like that. And then you just put the eye. Like so. Yeah. So yeah, all I need to do is refine his face a little, and then maybe put a little bit of a blur on it because of the distance. But otherwise, like his details look good. It's just gotta be everything's just gotta be a little bit. But even then, like I mean, he's so far away. I'm always nervous to put too much. Yeah, those are great. Like they have the ones where like they're like they put meat in like a tube and then like the raven will go over and grab a stick and then just push it out. Or those ones where like the raven will be like they'll be talking and like all of a sudden the raven will like copy them exactly and you're like, "Oh my gosh. I didn't realize their voice button their that it was that high like I mean that accurate. I know that certain birds can mimic speech, but I didn't realize that they could mimic like the sound until I heard that and I was like, "Oh wow." Same with well there's a couple actually. There's them there's honestly, based on how like I drew him, I think he's got that nice like the fact that he's less detailed and more like gestural is another good way to show off how far away he is. So yeah, I think you're right. Because otherwise, what I mean, you wouldn't see any. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. Oops. How are we doing? I think I'm gonna call it for the night because it's been. But thanks for sticking with me. I was you, we were on the same page. It was so much fun having you here. You really made this process so great, and you were a big help. So thanks a lot for coming by. I'll be doing this again on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So same time on Wednesday. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you then. Or I mean, I think I have my Twitch in here, so I'll be over there tomorrow. So yeah, yeah. All right, well have a great night and a wonderful weekend, and I hope the weather cools down for you and warms up for me. Can we switch or like meet in the middle? Yeah, it was. You were a big help. I really appreciate it. And yeah, have a wonderful night.